Good afternoon, this is Will Faerber from Art to Ride, and today I'm working with my associate trainer here, Amber Matusik, and her horse Legolas. Today we're going to continue our discussion of beginning the horse in the canter. Now this horse she bought about a year ago, and Amber spent about a year just doing long and low with the horse. She moved here with us about 3 months ago. We just have been starting the horse on the canter and the lunge line. And so now we're going to begin to try to do the same thing in the trot. So she's gotten to the point where she can sit to the trot quite nicely in a good active working trot, which is what I'd like to see before we do too much in the canter. Remember, the trot has to be correct before you bother trying to canter, or it's not going to be. So once we can get the horse to stay over its back and support our weight here like this, now we're ready to get serious about the canter. So whenever you're ready, Amber, ask him to canter and we'll see what kind of transition we're going to get. We never get worried about the transition between what he does with his head and neck there at first. There, that wasn't bad at all. Because we worry about that, the rest of it will go to hell. If we get the rest of it going correctly, that is, he comes through from the back for the canter, then we're going to have a good canter. Now, let's see if we can get him to stretch all the way down now in the canter. So we're just beginning this, so he should be able, he stretches really well in the trot, and like that. So we see him stretch all the way out like that. You must be able to stretch your horse ultimately in all three gaits. That's beautiful. Every time he comes up, you'll see the canter will improve. Now bring him back up and find your working trot again after that stretch. So if you've been working your horse correctly in the trot work and the stretches are going pretty nicely, it should go very much like that. And look how much improved when he came back in the canter. His canter looks a little more uphill than it did when we started, even though we stretched him down. That's because his back end was able to come deeper underneath him. So I'm pretty happy with that. Come back to a working trot sitting. Very nice, and that's pretty quite nice and stable. Rising trot and stretch him all the way down. Very nice. That's what we always want to see happen. We can stretch the horse in all three gaits, get him all the way out there and let him loosen up. There's a little bad footing there. We've had a little rain here. Like that. Now develop the working trot again. Bring him back up. She brings him back up. We try not to see any change in the trot rhythm. Very nice. And then once we can get him up, keeping the same trot, everything stays the same. He's engaging the same degree behind. Sit to the trot. And we're going to do that canter transition again and see if we can just smooth it out just a little bit in terms of the head and neck position. So whenever you're ready, ask him to canter. You see he gets a little confused there. Very nice. Now he lifted his head just a little bit. That was not bad at all. She got him to engage and start the canter from behind. And that's what's important, not whether or not the horse keeps its head perfectly in the exact same position again. So we're going to show the stretch again all the way down in the canter. So if the horse has been correctly trained, you should be able to do this. And notice there wasn't a big change in him, stretching all the way down. And now she's going to bring him all the way back up again and to reestablish her working canter. Like that, just brings the reins up. Very nice, keeping her shoulders up, chest lifted, and back to a working trot sitting. Very nice. Now this is the first time we've actually even tried to do this on him, and I was very pleased with that. So I'm going to let her walk, and we'll give him a little rest. Once again, this is Will Faerber from Art to Ride with my associate trainer here, Amber Matusik, and Legolas. We'll see you next time. Try to get your horses working over their backs and then stabilized in the trot, just like we did in the lunge line. Be sure that the trot is correct before you ask for the work in the canter. Then you'll have a lot more chance of success. Don't worry about whether the horse's neck stays perfectly in the same position when you first start asking transitions. He may have to lift his head a little bit to get through behind. That's okay. If we work the horse through from behind, in a matter of no time, the horse will start to stabilize in the bridle in the canter, and you won't have the problem of the horse throwing its head and hollowing its back into the canter. Thank you all very much. See you next time.